This is the 2020 BMW X6 M50i. Now, of course, with the BMW X6 M50i being a complete redesign this year, you're going to see some stylistic elements taken from the X5 because it's a very similar vehicle, like the headlights right here, where they have the half kind of hexagonal look to them, which is really cool, as well as the, brushed silver painted grills that look really good as well. This is kind of an M50i signature. It's shared on the grills as well as the mirrors and the rear badging as well. Now, if you look down here, you're going to see these gloss black accents that look really good against this blue. Of course, this BMW honeycomb pattern that we've seen on a lot of the new vehicles, as well as different sensors, as well as your camera right here in the center. Now, this is very similar to the M8 grille and the 8 Series just in general, how the grille is now connected, which is a cool stylistic element from BMW. It kind of fits the notch on the hood very well, and then you've got the little camera, like I said, hidden right there. Now, the whole front end is obviously super aggressive. This is something specific to the M50 model. All of the M Performance or M Sport models on cars, the BMW vehicles that is, are typically going to be a lot more aggressive in styling and typically come as a launch model for BMW, so people can see exactly kind of the coolest, most sporty model of the car when it gets unveiled. Now, I really do like this color. This is Riverside Blue metallic, and it looks fantastic. It's kind of like an Astoro blue that we used to see on the E36 M3 back in the day that was brought back, but this is a little bit on the darker side and looks fantastic when considering all the other options on this car. Now, staying true to the previous X6 generations, this car does have the iconic X6 kind of squished X5 look to the body lines. Of course, the X5 has a hatch that kind of opens vertically, and this is kind of more of a hatchback feel with this X6 that looks very good. It's kind of like an enlarged coupe, for lack of a better explanation, but you guys can kind of see that it's got this kind of like amplified 8 Series look. Right here, you're going to see this aerodynamic looking vent right here that's just for stylistic purposes, as we've mentioned on some previous newer BMWs as well, but it flows nicely with the body line, giving this a very sporty look. Of course, you've got your gloss black trim around the corners, which, like I said, accents very, very well when it comes down to this blue color. I really like it, and obviously if you can get rid of chrome, it's kind of a newer style and it looks nice and clean when it can be black. Now, of course, on the M Sport specific cars, you're going to get a better upgraded wheel. Now, these are 20-inch wheels wrapped in these Bridgestone Alenta kind of all-season tires that are run flat standard on the BMWs, as they don't come with a spare. These look really good, have this kind of charcoal inside and the brushed silver outside. Nothing new here. These are also on the X5 M Sport, but they look really, really good. Now, the most different part about this car is the rear end. It's got this nice notch spoiler that kind of looks like an M3 CS design, which is really cool. Color match to the car. And of course, you've got your X6 badging in that chrome brushed silver that we talked about, as well as the M50i to designate that this is in fact an M Sport. Down here, you're going to see the beautiful diffuser. This is paint matched in the Riverside Blue, and this is a nice charcoal color. Your exhaust tips right here. It has kind of like this nice little rectangular look to it, but they do have quad exhaust tips in the rear. Reflectors, of course, because that's a safety standard, and then this beautiful taillight that's not on any other vehicle that looks really, really nice, kind of similar to the 8 Series. It's kind of a squished, new style design to kind of bring this, whole sandwich of a back end together. Now, running down the center of the roof, you're going to see this little plastic piece right here that has this notch in it that looks really aggressive, that follows the line of the spoiler that looks really, really cool on this car. Now, this is something we typically see in like an M3 or an M5, and it's cool that they're bringing it into their SUVs now. As I said before, this car is meant to be the sportier version of the X5, a little bit smaller, a little bit more compact, a little bit shrunken, but it doesn't really sacrifice any of its amazing features, which is absolutely fantastic. Now, of course, with any BMW M50i model, you're going to get an absolute treat underneath the hood, and the X6 is no exception. This is a 4.4-liter twin turbocharged V8 that produces 523 horsepower and 553 foot-pounds of torque. Now, with that being said, this car goes 0 to 60 in 4.1 seconds, which is absolutely insane for an SUV of this size and weight. Now, of course, with that beautiful twin-turbo V8, you're going to get an amazing sound. So let's give it a quick little rev here, and you guys will be able to hear the rumble that you're going to be making down the street when you drive this car. That sounds really, really good. Of course, on the new X6, you've got BMW's latest iDrive, which is phenomenal, as always, in my opinion, the best in the automotive business, and I think many would agree with me. Of course, you got the digital dash as well. That looks phenomenal. It was introduced on the X5, and of course, it's brought over to the X6 as well. Beautiful trim options throughout, amazing ambient lighting, and just exactly what you expect from a 2020 BMW luxury interior. Now personally, I'd probably be driving this car in comfort mode most of the time. I know it's got that aggressive feature of the Sport and Sport Plus modes, which I really like because it's nice to be able to have, but as a daily commuter, you're probably gonna be driving it in comfort, and if that's the case, you are gonna absolutely love this car. It's nice, easygoing, feels like an amazing, comfortable SUV, and you've got a lot of power on reserve if you need it. I really, really enjoy this car, and in Sport Plus, it is an absolute monster. It sounds amazing, like better than most cars that I've driven lately. It sounds like a real, true sports car, but obviously it's not. Guys, as I mentioned earlier, this car is available for sale at Elmhurst BMW in Elmhurst, Illinois. I highly recommend you check them out. They are the best dealership in the Midwest, and I highly encourage you to take a look at the all-new BMW X6. This car is absolutely phenomenal. It's beautiful, and it's super, super sporty. I might actually consider one of these cars after I'm done with my M3 because I just like it that much. So guys, as always, like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't, subscribe to me on Instagram at Sulkar, SULKAR_media for all the things behind the scenes and taking a closer look at some beautiful cars that I take a look at for work. So as always, guys, thank you so very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.